Okay, so we should be live. Hello, welcome. If you're seeing this, thank you for being here. Just kind of started live streaming, so yeah, but I'm having a lot of fun with it so far. I'm just trying to, you know, I'm really doing this as more of just a way for me to kind of check in and kind of work and be creative. And so it's a little fun for me, and hopefully, if you're watching this, it's fun for you. And today, I'm going to be doing a little bit differently. Usually, I'm playing the bass right off the bat, but I thought I'd do a little bit of live composing today. And part of that is just that I've been really enjoying composing lately. I've been spending a lot of time this week composing. And so I just released a new track. It's a kind of meditation based track. It's very ambient sound. So you can check that out on my Bandcamp, which is right there at the bottom of the screen. It's brettarmstrongmusic.bandcamp. And yeah, it's I like it a lot. It was made all with sounds from my bass, but very altered, and that's what you're listening to right now. You're listening to, believe it or not, my bass, and it's so cool. I think how we can use this technology to get so many interesting sounds out of our instruments, and so this sounds really nice. I think what I've put together today. It's actually quite similar to the track that I put up. It's using some of the same sounds. And so I just wanted to, I'm going to take a step back and show you how I did this. Because it was really easy, actually. So I think it'll be interesting to kind of walk you through what I was doing. Let's see. Let's go back so that you can see this. So right now I have, here, let's stop this. We're going to start from scratch here. So this is my live set in Ableton. This is Ableton Live 11, this is a beta version of it that I'm testing, but it's going to come out pretty soon, and it's really, really great. So I'm going to show you a couple of the key features from it if you're interested. Ableton is a really, really great program for music production. It's, I think it's for creativity first, rather than production first, maybe. So granulator is what this track is called. This is my granulator, and down here you can see that it has a file in it, and that file is just an open D string. And so I can play that with my MIDI device. I have it so that it's really, really slow attack and really, really slow release. And so I just pressed, one note, and it's still going, right? So, and I like that because then I can just kind of walk around my MIDI device, and it just kind of makes these long cascading notes. And so it's really great for drone and kind of ethereal backgrounds. And so yeah, I've put. I don't think I'm gonna get into too much of like the effects because it took me a while to get that sound out of the bass. Let's hear some low notes. But so what I might do, today is I might, pick let's see. Yeah. So I'll start with this. How's the sound? I see we have 3 people here. So if you wouldn't mind in the chat telling me how the sound is, this might be a little bit quiet. So I'm hoping that you can still hear my voice as this is playing. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and record, and I'm just going to record a MIDI note. And so here we have sound is good. Hi, Tom and Jill. Good to see you. So I just have a kind of a drone going now, and you can see it's recorded down here. And it's actually not the same as, you know, this is just a MIDI note controlling the instrument, so that's why I'm able to talk over it. I'm not really recording anything right now. And so now what I can do is, let's double this loop a couple of times so that I have some space. I can overdub it with, you know, some more notes like I was doing before. So let's find some notes that we like. Might be a little too wild. But okay, let's start. I'll hit record. Okay, so I really like that. That sounds really nice. But maybe a little intense, right? It's a lot going on. And so if I was playing over this, that would be just way too much. First of all, I'm going to turn the sound down just a little bit because I can hardly hear myself speak. Okay, so one thing that I love about Ableton Live 11 is the chance, the probability. So down here, I can just turn down the probability of all of these notes firing, which is kind of incredible. And I'll just bring it down to, say, 40%. Looks like I missed one or two. And so now not all of them are going to fire each time through. And so already you can hear that it's kind of calming down. And the nice thing about that is that every time it goes through, it'll be a little bit different. So we're going to keep with that for now. And I'm gonna add some different sounds. I've been really liking this kalimba sampled. So this is, I took some recordings of a kalimba that I recorded last time I was streaming, and I edited it into a drum rack so I can play it like that really easily. Which is kind of nice because the kalimba, while I'm playing, that can be a little tricky. Sometimes I twang. Okay, so that, you know, that sounds nice, but it doesn't sound quite right. You know, it's over the top of this really ethereal background. So I really like to I like the sound of the kalimba, but with a huge amount of reverb on it. So here's that difference. So now you can hear how much more reverb there is. So let me do a before and after real quick. Right? And then... Cool, right? And so I can do the same thing with the kalimba. What I can do is I'll just hit record. I'm gonna record 2 bars of just some notes. So, delete that automation. So again, I have some notes, and what I can do, since that's kind of a lot going on, and it starts to get old after a while after it's just repeating over and over. So what I'm going to do is the same thing as my drone track. I can just select all these. Let me try that again. So I'm going to select all my notes, and I'm just going to pull down this chance. I love this feature so much because now it's going to be a little bit different each time. Yeah, so it's still going, but different notes are firing each time. And then, last but not least, I'll turn on my echo. Okay, yeah. this is pretty much what I had when I started the stream. So not really that difficult to make this. I'm just gonna let it play, and we'll see if it needs anything else. One thing I can do is now it seems like there's not enough notes. So I could turn up the probability, or I can just overdub more notes. So why don't we add a couple more notes? And I'm not really thinking too hard about this. I'm just trying to make sure that they don't overlap too much, and they're occupying different space, so it's just kind of taking up different parts of the track. So that sounds pretty cool, really, especially with that echo on, right? But again, I think that that's going to get old, because some of those notes are firing every time it goes through. So I'm just going to pull down those notes again. And so now we're back to not all of them firing every time. And so it's a very different texture as we go. And so this is really nice, and I can now play, I think I'm going to play a little bit with my bass over top of this, and we'll see how that sounds. And that's kind of what I do for, that's what I did for the track that I released on Bandcamp was, today was, you know, I just kind of started playing with effects and found some stuff I liked, and then just kind of expanded on it. Okay, so just give me 1 second and I'll grab my bass. Actually, before I do that, I would love to see who's here. I see 4 people here. That's great. That's good for me. That's I'm not a big streamer yet, right? I haven't made it big. So if you're here, you know, please say hi. Tell me what you think. Hey, Andy. Good to see you. Hey. Yeah, not yet. I'm sure just any day now, and I'm gonna be flooded with people. I really don't, I'm not doing this like I said at the beginning, if you might have not even caught that, but you know, I'm really doing this, well, for a couple of reasons. Partly just for me to, you know, do this kind of thing, to create. It is really helpful for me to have to, well, not have to, but want to share what I've been working on, all week. So that's really helpful. I honestly really recommend it. You know, kind of trying to just put out some creative project that you've been working on, and not really worry too much if it's perfect. You know, not letting perfect get in the way of the good. It's something I've been telling myself a lot lately. This is really nice. I like it. I don't know. And yeah, hopefully, so far it seems like the sound's pretty good. I am on the same computer today, because that's the only way I can show you what I'm working on while I'm working on it. Usually I'm casting to kind of a different computer, not casting, you know, using a different computer to control the stream. So hopefully that doesn't give us any issues today. So I'm gonna go ahead and record this too, because there's all these little like chance things happening. Oh, this is recording my voice. I don't know if I want that. Oh no, I have to have that. Never mind. Mbira? I think there's a B in there. Yeah, it's not technically a kalimba, but I mean, it has a very similar sound. But yeah, this is nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab my bass, and I'll play a couple notes along with that, and play around with some effects on it. But just give me 1 second to grab that, and I'm gonna switch over to this camera. Hello. Except why don't we? I'm gonna turn off the chat for now. Okay. Okay, how's that? Can you still hear me? Okay. I know that looked a little awkward, I'm sure, but I'm actually very proud of being able to grab my bass and come from the computer to the bass. It's not an easy task, as any bass player would tell you. Okay. So let me make sure that you can hear the bass. Okay. Turn the volume down a little bit on that. I think that will be better. How's that sound? Anybody want to hear some effects on the bass? I know I do. Alright, so let's see what we got here. First of all, I think putting on the same reverb that I have on the kalimba would probably go over well. Usually does. You'll probably hear my voice now a little bit. So that's kind of sounds nice. Okay, there we go. I was, yeah, so I liked that sound, and so one thing I might do now is record that in, and then I can play around with it. So, let me show you my screen again. So you can still see. I'm gonna move me back up over here. That's better. Okay. So now all I do is I have let's see. I have my MIDI pedal down here, kind of behind my bass, ready to start recording. And I need a metronome on, which you shouldn't hear. It should just be for me. But I do need to know where the recording is going to start. That is important to me. So now I have that going, and that's recorded in. But it sounds a little bit different because of the way that I have my reverb routing going on right now. That's easy enough to fix though. So already I like that better. And then let's see here. So one thing I like to do now is play around with a couple of effects after the fact. So let's see. So just putting a little bit of EQing on that. And then, let's see. Just looking for a nice, let's try this one. That's kind of nice. Kind of turns it a little bit more rhythmic. I think I need to boost up the volume of it for it to come out. You can see that, you can hear how it's kind of matching the echo of the kalimba. That's one of the nice things about having everything timed to the same clock. Oh wow. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, the effect was on, and so when I was turning up the volume, it was kind of getting in the way of that. So when I turned off the effect, it sounded totally different. So I'll probably turn down that gain a bit. And yeah, let's try, this one's kind of a nice one. So this one, it's kind of giving me some, how do I describe it, some rhythm? same level. I like to have it kind of vary. So one way I can do that, let's see. Right now I have a 4-bar clip. And actually, I can't do much about that. Okay, so 4-bar clip. And now I can just automate in this effect, kind of vary it over the course of the clip. There. And so now you can't really see it in Ableton because it's somewhere buried in the settings. Let's see. Yeah, there you go, you can see it. I don't know if you can see that actually, but I've made it so that... Oh, okay, thanks. You can't hear my voice very well. Well, let me just turn down... How is that? Is that better with my mic? Hopefully that's a little bit better. I'm a little bit further away, that's probably part of the problem. Let's see if I can't fix that. Not much better, okay. This should be better though, right? I can try and talk louder. Yeah, I am interested in what it sounds like on your end, because, and that's kind of the hard thing is when I'm releasing something on Bandcamp, I've mastered it, I've gone through and made sure it sounds good for everyone. Live streaming is tough. I have to just kind of put it out and hope that it sounds as good as I can get it. I do a lot of testing, but then every week I change something, and it's kind of like whack-a-mole. So. Much better. Great. Okay. Can you still hear the music okay? Okay. Okay. So let me play a little bit more. Let's see. So that's always a cool one, I think. You could probably hear, it's, actually, let's see. So what could you hear? Yeah, you should have been able to hear, well, actually, hang on. Let me grab this. Oh yeah, so you should have been able to hear me play the whole time, because I'm pumping in, just plain signal from my mic, and then also, it's this, it's really cool effect that kind of chops up the sound and delays it and has this kind of rhythmic effect underneath my sound, hopefully. But I'm not sure if I want to record it in... Why don't I record it in, and then I can decide later. Yeah, so this is one of my favorites. So now, and again, sometimes, usually when I'm streaming, I kind of just go and try and do as many cool things as I can. And I'm trying to get past that a little bit. One is because I just think that it's kind of nice to listen to everything rather than just have it, it's kind of too easy to just layer, and then you can't hear anything. So I'm trying to break free of that, that kind of impulse. So let's listen to this. We can turn this up a bit. So you can hear that this is what you would hear, or this is what the computer is hearing. You're hearing me a little bit differently, so it sounds a little bit differently. You can even see, I kind of love how you can see in the window how it's changing the audio, chopping it up a little bit, giving it kind of that rhythmic sound. And then so I can EQ this. So one thing with like EQing, that's another way to keep it from getting totally overwhelmed, or everything getting totally overwhelmed. So for this, if I just cut out the highs so it doesn't overpower any of the other MIDI samples. So it sounds a little bit different, but it's actually, I think, going to be, hopefully, we'll have to hear. That's probably a little bit too much. Turn the gain down a bit. You see I'm getting clipping on that track. And I really just want it in the background. So we'll turn down that fader. I kind of miss the kalimba. I haven't heard it very well in a while. So I'm going to check in with that, make sure that... So I'm kind of mixing as I go. That sounds nice. But again, so I thought, that might get old after a while, but the nice thing is then I can just turn that off. And I think what I can do is just click New, have two scenes. And so now I can really easily switch back between, two very different sounds. But that wasn't super useful. So I'm gonna undo that. Still working on this. Let's see. So what I'm doing right now is I turned on a bunch of reverb. This is kind of a cool, if you can see that in the, it's the kind of teal box. And so that's the knob that I'm twisting right now. And so it's turning this kind of rhythmic sound, and it just kind of washes it out. But then, I have other things, what I could maybe do. Then I could then re-chop it up in a different way. I'm not loving any of the sounds yet, though. Let's try something else. Let's turn this off for now. I'm not loving it. I just don't think it fits very well. But what about, this effect. So let me tell you about what's going on a little bit. You probably could hear me tapping on the bass, but now you can't quite so much. Let's go to this track. So on this track, or actually on that effect was just a... Look at this clip. Okay. So yeah, it's resonators, and so resonators just pull out certain frequencies. I feel like I have a lot of reverb on my voice. There we go. Yeah, they just pull out a lot of. I can tell them what frequencies to pull out, and so a tap can then become kind of this metallic chime, which is really cool. And then, in addition to that, I can tell I have. I'm not going to get into it too much, but I have sort of like number generators that are randomizing the resonators, which sounds cooler and more complicated than it really is. It wasn't that hard, but so that's why it sounds different. It's different chords are being pulled out of the same sounding tap. So now I have this kind of interesting sounding percussion in the background. It's a little plain to me though, so one thing I'm gonna try. It's always fun to send it to the echo. Actually, before we send it to the echo, I want to play around with it just plain, so we can hear this. Since I don't really want low frequencies, I'm going to cut out low frequencies. Oh, that doesn't sound very good, does it? That's too much. So you can hear that kind of pops out of the texture just a little bit more. Man, I love that track though, that drone track is constantly changing. I'm not sick of it yet, and that's pretty huge for me. I usually get sick of my stuff probably faster than you would, but yeah, it's just like, it sounds so different than how it did, a minute ago. It's nice. I think that it's sounding okay together. But let's try. What does this sound like? Okay. So a little bit of like kind of ghostly reverb on that. And then send it to echo. Probably turn it down a bit. So it's getting a little intense. So that's kind of nice in the background. Bringing back in the sound, see if I like it again. No, I think that's too much. I just think that's too much. That's okay though. Yeah, that is way too much. Okay. I'm just gonna play a little bit more with this texture. And yeah, again, this is what I love about doing this, is it kind of inspires. We'll see kind of how I feel playing this. I don't really have the same kind of, I don't think about improvisation, I feel like, in any particular way, and that's not me trying to sound cool. That's me saying I haven't really been trained, but I say that because I feel like everyone can take the path that I took. I always felt like, oh, I can't really improvise because that's hard, right? And I need to go to a jazz improvising. I gotta get that jazz improvising degree before I can really improvise. And yeah, that would help. But this kind of thing where I'm just kind of just playing around with notes that sound good, that's all I really need, because then I can record something that sounded good. I'm recording everything I'm doing, so if something sounds good, I'll just go back and I'll take that and have that inspire, another piece. Um, so yeah, that's my 2 cents on improvising. I assure you though, I'm not saying that to try and make myself sound cool. But I like improvising now because I'm not trying to do something, I'm not trying to prove anything. like I've spent the whole week. I've spent the whole week just kind of mixing this last track that I put up on Bandcamp, and which is time well spent, but means that I didn't really do too much practicing. So this is great to play the bass finally this week. But I'm thinking that I'm going to wrap it up today. So cool. One thing I would have loved to do is have, I'll save that for, I hope that this was interesting to watch me compose. I'd love to do more of it, and I'd love to maybe try and include the chat a little bit more. I feel like I could have done a better job of that. It would be cool to try and compose by committee. That might be fun to try sometime. But yeah, for today, I think I'm just gonna start winding down and saying goodbye. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, and I had a lot of fun making some music today. So have a great weekend. Andy, Tom, and Jill, Abby, and anyone else who sees this, I hope you have a great weekend. And I'm going to fade myself out. Take care.